So I started at LinkedIn almost 8 years ago. And I remember I was so excited. It was my first job in tech. I was starting as an analyst. I was so excited about all the data that I would have access to, thinking about all the problems I could solve. I also remember that the way that I thought about LinkedIn as a website or as an application was it was the place that I upload my resume, I create a profile, and then I never log in again unless I get an email that says someone I know wants to be my connection. And many other members at that time use LinkedIn in the exact same way. Fast forward 8 years later, and now the way that people engage on LinkedIn and on the platform is vastly different. Myself included, there are people that are logging in weekly, daily, to have conversations with their peers and colleagues, to look up news about their industry, and to even learn new skills to help them set themselves up for a future job. And all of this new engagement on the platform creates a wealth of data and signals on the back end that, when combined with the information that members are putting on their profile, creates what we at LinkedIn call our economic graph. It's quite literally a map of the global workforce. It has over 660 million members, 30 million companies, 20 million jobs, 35,000 skills, and 90,000 schools. It's very big, it's very real, and it's a map of the global working world. And it's ever-changing, ever-evolving, and constantly up to date. And when we layer artificial intelligence on top of this graph, we're able to create products that help companies find the right people, hire the right people, and develop those people when they're in seat. Now, the reason why this conference exists, the reason why a lot of our jobs exist, my own included, is because more and more companies are waking up to the fact that talent is the #1 differentiator in making them successful. In fact, when I joined LinkedIn 8 years ago, our #1 priority is the exact same as it is today. It's talent. And a recent study done by Burson recently found that 70% of CEOs see talent as their competitive advantage. However, only 8% of HR organizations believe they have usable data. That's a big gap, and it's a big problem. And it's one that we think that through insights that we can build on top of our economic graph, we can help solve. And in fact, we've already started doing this. We've partnered with governments around the world to help inform them of policies that they can put in place. We've partnered with agencies, both domestic and international, to help show them what we're seeing in the workforce and to help predict future trends that we might see that we can get ahead of. And that's what leads me to my proudest moment in my career here at LinkedIn, which is thinking about how we can use insights on top of our economic graph to help companies make every single one of their talent and workforce decisions more data-driven and be smarter in the way that they're making those decisions. And that led to one of the most exciting points in my career last year when we launched the fastest growing product in LinkedIn history, LinkedIn Talent Insights, which is a self-service people analytics platform that any company can use to get insights on demand to help them make smarter decisions. So going back again to when I started at LinkedIn, my first job, as I mentioned, I was an insights analyst. And it was my job to partner with leaders in talent acquisition and HR at the time. I had to understand the challenges they were facing, the priorities that they had, and then I was thinking through how I might use LinkedIn data and analyze that data to help inform their priorities, to help uncover more insights around the challenges that they were facing. As I grew within the team and within the organization, I saw demand for these types of insights from companies rise at an exponential pace. It got to the point where a few years ago, my team was receiving over 10,000 requests per year for these types of insights. And we could not meet that demand by just hiring more and more analysts. And on top of that, we didn't believe that we should be the gatekeeper to these insights. We felt like there was an opportunity to democratize access so that any company could get access to these insights on demand to help them make more strategic decisions. So I'm going to walk through a few examples of what this actually looks like in practice in my few remaining minutes here on stage. So when you log into Talent Insights, the first thing that you see is an option to create one of two reports. The Talent Pool report, where you can define a talent pool based on any title, skill, location, combination, and more. And the Company report, where you can find insights on your own company as well as your competitors. So first, let's go to the Talent Pool report. So Microsoft actually recently was having a challenge with hiring cybersecurity professionals in Seattle. It was becoming such a big challenge that they were tasked with thinking through a different strategy. And so a program manager at Microsoft who actually had access to Talent Insights thought that he would log in there and see what he could find that could help inform that strategy. So here we can search for people with cybersecurity skills on LinkedIn in the United States and generate our report. So the first thing that you can see is some of the overview insights. You can see there's over 400,000 people in the United States with cybersecurity skills. We can see how frequently they are changing jobs. And we can even see how in demand this talent is, which is a measure of how frequently they're being reached out to by recruiters as compared to other members on our network. So again, Microsoft is thinking it's really hard to hire in Seattle. Are there other opportunities to look in other locations? Should we be considering another location strategy? So if we actually click over to the location tab, not very surprising that Washington, D.C. is the highest supply of cybersecurity professionals in the United States. But what was actually a relevant insight that they were able to take back to leadership was the fact that it wasn't that DC had the highest volume of people with these skills, it was 6 times the volume of those in Seattle. And they were able to use this data point in combination with a bunch of other research that they had done to actually make the decision to open an office in DC to hire cybersecurity professionals. But when it gets really exciting is they didn't stop there. So this program manager, same program manager, said, yes, this helped inform our strategy. We're opening an office in DC, but we can probably go farther and make our recruiters and the team that is going to be recruiting this talent as efficient and effective as possible. So in Talent Insights, we can actually drill in. We can choose to just look at Washington, DC, and then switch over to the company tab. Again, when we're looking here, these are our top 10 companies who are employing cybersecurity talent in DC. Not surprising to see these names on the list. You can see the number of employees, we can see the compensation, we can even see the attrition rate of these employees at those companies. But where it got especially valuable for Microsoft was when they got to pages 5 and 6 and beyond, and different companies started popping up that they may not have known actually employed this talent. And when you look further and see compensation that Microsoft felt like they could compete well with, and you see companies that have a relatively high attrition rate, they were able to actually put together a playbook for their recruiting team so that once they opened that office, they were able to get off the ground and running quickly and hiring as efficiently as possible. So next, I want to talk quickly about the company report. So again, this is the second report within Talent Insights that allows you to research any company on LinkedIn to understand more about what they're doing, benchmarking your own company's data against theirs, and then seeing how talent is flowing in and out of companies all across the globe. Here I'm going to use a fake company to not put any company here, anyone who's from any company here on blast. But this is Flexus. Flexus, we can see in the overview page, has 7,000 employees, growing at a rate of over 17% year over year. Looking down below, you can actually see where Flexus is hiring talent from and where they're losing talent to. If we go over to the attrition tab, every company is monitoring their own internal attrition fairly closely. Where it becomes difficult is when they are looking at attrition rate by function or by region and having a hard time understanding whether that high attrition rate is due to the market or it's to be expected or if there's something else going on there that should be addressed. What Talent Insights allows you to do is actually benchmark that attrition rate for a specific function or for a specific location against your competitors to understand where there might be a gap and where there might be something that is going on that you should dig deeper into. It can save a ton of time in this respect. If we go to the Talent Flow tab, so this is a tab where you can look at any company, see where they're hiring, how their hiring trends are changing over time, departure trends are changing over time, and actually see where specific companies that they're hiring from and losing talent to. Once again, where this can get really powerful is as you start scrolling down and finding companies, maybe on your own company talent flow report, that you didn't even know were your competition, where you're seeing a certain company pop up, starting to hire more and more of your employees, and you can get ahead of that and try to implement a strategy. Similarly, if you're looking at a competitor's report, you might find that they're hiring a lot of talent from companies that you're not even aware of or that you haven't added into your own strategy. There's so much more in this product that I could go on for ages about. I hope my passion comes across around how excited I am and how proud I am of what we've built here. but I know that I only have a few minutes left. So instead, I will direct you to our booth next door where we are demoing this product. You can get your hands right on it. You can also go to linkedin.com/insights to learn more, or you can find me at the cocktail hour afterwards. So thank you all.